I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets' Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!
Tons of anticipation built up for this show.
Damn straight, man. You have no idea how far back I had to go to pull that clip at the end there. I just had to go deep into my old hard drive. That's all. But Chaos, man, welcome back, brother. We missed you last week, but with good cause. I know you had some stuff going on. What do you want to share? And how did your week go before this game?
I actually had a rough week, man. I was, I had a great time the week before. The reason, people might not know, I was on an airplane. I was coming home from an incredible weekend that saw the marriage of Matt O'Leary and his lovely wife, Taylor. And that was pretty awesome. It's right above me right there. That's from their wedding. Matt and Taylor. So anyway, we had a great time. We had a bunch of Jets people there. Green Bean and Ryan and Jake Asman and Richie from Jets Media, all at the same table, which was wild. We did the Jets chant like 3 times during the wedding. It was pretty cool. The rough part was when I got home on Sunday night, and by Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, I was sick like a dog. Like, as far as I just have a nasty cold that I'm still recovering from. So.
We missed you. We missed you. We did get a friend of this channel, the Jets Ward, to fill in. So we still talked some ball. We talked some Ravens talk. Maybe talk to us there real quick. I mean, we already fleshed it all out, so don't go crazy. But like, thoughts on the Jets Ravens game?
I didn't see much of it, but outmanned. But competitive, without, you take away the Brees fumble. I mean, that's we gave away, think about who our stars were, who our best players were. Like, if we were in the middle of the season and, Quentin Williams and Sauce Gardner or Garrett Wilson all got hurt. I mean, it's like, right. And then you're on your backup quarterback. I mean, we didn't know it was because Justin Fields was going to be dysfunctional, but, Tyrod Taylor is your quarterback. You're not thinking this is going to be a very good football team. And yet they're fighting hard and they're playing really hard. They really, you take away that fumble, if Brees gets into the end zone, it's a real game against a very real team.
Facts. Facts. We are allergic to the 1 yard line, I think. But hey, today, not so much, man. Just want to thank anyone here now. Early birds, appreciate you guys showing up, chilling with us here on a Sunday night. We got a good football game on, it looks like. Nix is playing well. Actually, Duck versus Duck quarterback. So go Oregon. Um, but yeah, Jesus, Jerry, Billy, Amid, even Daniel Murphy in the chat. I see you guys.
Even
Um,
Daniel.
Stranger down there, I see you too. Yeah, you know what? Murph's coming out firing. He says, "Why does Dane get Jeremy and I get Dane?"
Why does anyone think I'm a prize? That's my question.
You know what? I think I'm lucky both ways.
Mhm.
I get both you guys. You're two different people. Yeah. I think I win in this scenario.
I'm sure
But
I'm sure there'll be a day where you can't be there and it'll be Murphy and me together in a show.
facts, there will. I guarantee you there will. So yeah, I'll be tuned in and trolling in the chat that day, hopefully. Um, but he also sent in his membership milestone, and it's a pretty good question. Before we get into the Falcon talk, um, he asks, "How many wins do the Jets have if special teams is only average?"
Oh gee. Maybe just one?
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. I mean, overall, like course of a season, I don't know. Stay tuned for that. But we definitely don't have today's. I can tell you that.
Yeah, today
Yeah,
today was special teams, and then which game was it where we scored the 2 touchdowns? Against, blah, blah, blah.
Cincy
Was it
was it
Cincy?
Cincy?
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not positive. Don't quote me. But I do know, dude. Since we started the show, we have a winning record.
Yeah, yeah. Well, or was it, wait a second, wait a second. What are the 3 teams we beat? We I'm drawing a
I got you.
I was
Yeah.
really sick. We beat Cincinnati. We just beat, Atlanta.
Oh, remember we beat the two Ohio teams back to back.
Oh, that's right, Cleveland. So was it the Cleveland game that the special teams got the 2 touchdowns in a row?
I'm about to tell you if the chat doesn't beat me to it. Yes, it was the Cleveland game.
So let's say that we would not have won that Cleveland game without that, and let's say that we would not because we weren't able to move the ball against them. And then let's say that we weren't going to win today, but Cincinnati we did really well scoring against them. So
Fair. Um, yeah. So hopefully that answers your question, Daniel. That also was a good refresher because I couldn't remember the third team we beat either. But
but
now I remember the Mangold and the Ohio, and then we beat both of them. Um,
but let's
yeah.
but let's be honest, okay, or let's be real about this because I know a lot of people say it's only because of special teams. Let's not underestimate special teams is a real thing. It's a real thing. There are plenty of teams that would say, "What would our record be without special teams?" Playoff teams, teams that win divisions that wouldn't have won the division, even teams that win Super Bowls that wouldn't have won the Super Bowl. Special teams is a tremendous part of football, and I think that we just forget it. And I think that it's easy for Jet fans to forget it because we haven't had a year like this with special teams where they've been so impactful. But I think that other fans of other teams that have had that kind of impact from special teams do know about it, and understand it.
I'm with you, and Daniel chimes in too, and he says, we might win 0 with a mid special teams unit just because that Cincinnati game we won 39-38. He's probably right. Maybe we don't win any of them. Uh, but I think me and Chaos were more so thinking like they were legit factors in the other two.
But we
They
might
really.
we may have beaten Pittsburgh if their special teams wasn't so incredible, right? And ours wasn't bad when Gibson gave them a touchdown and then they kicked a 55-yarder and a 60-yarder.
Good point. Because if our special teams unit is mid, then that means it's better in some of the games it was trash.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. Jesus Jerry says, Jeremy, hello. There's someone at your window. Jerry. He's a
Who's at
funny
my
guy.
window?
Jerry, our other resident foodie, I remember you guys were chopping it up a couple weeks back about some rice or something. I'm not
Yes,
sure
yes,
exactly.
Biani Rice for yeah.
Jerry, the resident Croatian, I believe. Um, but yeah, you know what? As people are others are filing in, Jeremy, I don't want to get too off track. Dude, what did you think today, man? What did you think heading into the game? Then like as it progressed, and then what do you feel now? However you want to splice it.
Yeah, I would love to talk about the game for a minute without the tanking controversy and just freaking do some analysis of the game because nobody is talking about the game.
Please,
Everybody's just
please.
talking about whether we should have won or not. And it's like, okay, it happened. We can't change
Mhm.
that. Can we talk about our football team and the game? One of the things that stood out to me is Aaron Glenn did a great job today. Like, and I don't mean great, like, oh my God, coach of, top 5 coach in the end. I'm not saying that. But rookie coach struggled early. We all know that. Had some game management issues. He was fine today. He was solid. One of the things I really liked was the way he talks to the players.
Excellent,
Brother,
excellent muting there by Jeremy. I love it.
that's going to happen with the getting
That's
over
all
the
right.
cold with my cough. But the way he was talking to the players when they come back to the sideline after making a mistake or whatever. When did you ever see Salah doing that?
It's night and day, man. I forget who I saw him like really talking to, if it was Mechie or I don't know. It was someone though that I was just thinking, man, he would have been on the side, like on the bench, just with his head in a towel already. But Glenn was like face to face, giving him a whole convo. Um, I don't think that should be glossed over, like you're saying, man. And like then you can get into like the game flow and what he was doing, but like just the vibe, the player to coach uh vibe, I just think is off the charts, man. You even see it in that post game speech and stuff, how much those players are feeling him.
Yeah, yeah, they're buying into him, and that was the important thing if you're going to accomplish anything, moving forward is when we were 0-7, what were we afraid of? We were afraid that they were going to think he was a clown. They were going to lose faith in him, and we were going to just have that kind of coach where they're going to give him that other year, but it's going to be a team that doesn't believe in him. Now, the way things are going, if they stay competitive and um, play the way they're playing, and some good things happen, they can go into next year. And when those new players come into the locker room, these players that are here now that are staying could be leaders in the sense of you better listen to our coach. Like the new players that come in are coming into not a broken, dysfunctional locker room where players are talking bad about the coach or we don't get a instead you're coming into and you're walking into an environment where you see all these players responding really well to the coach, and that kind of thing is contagious.
Really, because when you are new to a scenario, I think one thing that a lot of players do try to do is flesh out, is there any cracks here? Whether it be something they just put in the back of their mind or something they try to exploit immediately, but they get a feel for it. And it sure sounds like if you're going to be retained this offseason, you're going to be in lockstep with this staff, and they're building a foundation. Whether it's successful or not, we can have a whole another conversation. But again, I'd just like to say, since Jeremy and I started, since Chaos got in the zone, we're 3-2, three good solid wins, and the other two we were in. We were in both of them. The last 5 games, whether it's because Jeremy's here or not, it's a whole nother convo. Fact of the matter is 0-7, and then the last 5 games have been much better.
Well, it's interesting because we were 1-7 with Quinton Williams and Sauce Gardner on the team. We're 2-2 with AD Mitchell and
Yes.
and some excitement over some picks that we don't even have yet. So
Which that is a treasure chest at the end of this, man.
no,
It
I'm
really
gonna do
is.
something. I'm gonna for a second do something completely inappropriate, like and ridiculous, and like just no. I mean, in the sense of like that I don't believe, so I don't want to make people go too crazy, but just as a joke kind of thing, or just kind of like a real kind of hypothetical scenario slash question. If AD Mitchell kept having 100-yard games, like let's say he had a few more, right? Let's say Garrett comes back, and all of a sudden it's like they're both making plays, and suddenly we have something. This guy's making some big plays, touchdowns, right? At what point and Sauce is over there, bad bruised calf now, he's hurt. He comes back, he gets beat again, like it's on tape. Oh, look, just like they showed on the 2-point conversion when he played, and he's not looking like the greatest thing in the world. Um, and then you start thinking to ourselves, wow, we got a really good wide receiver here. That starts to be really exciting, almost like we found our other half to Garrett, and he doesn't cost us $30 million. And you start thinking, it's not such a even without the 2 first-round picks. This ain't looking so bad. You're like AD Mitchell and $30 million per year for the next 6 years to spend,
Yes.
or Sauce Gardner. And what if that gap started to get less and less because AD Mitchell really was a solid WR2 and really good, right? And it was a while before we actually had to pay him any real serious money. And then you say, oh, and let's see what happens to those 2 first-round picks.
Yes. If okay, let me jump down this rabbit hole with you, Jeremy. Let's assume that Mitchell really does start showing out, even at a Jet standard, showing out. Um, give me a little Holmes and Braylon Edwards combo for one, but also, it could get to a point where, hey, if we bust on both those picks, we're still not shooting ourselves in, blah blah blah. Or if you only hit on one of the two, hey, you're still winning that trade. It's not like right now a lot of people feel, oh, we got to hit both those, or we got to get a quarterback to make
Well,
any of this worth it.
but
But
we're also forgetting the $30 million.
no, right, right. That's what I mean. If you bust
Yeah,
on both those, I'm not saying swap
yeah.
for swap is worth it,
No, I'm saying,
but
but
the
if
th-
one
the
pick
30 million to roll into the rest of the roster wherever you see fit,
so you get
different.
the 30 million extra, you get the wide receiver who, let's say, makes it that we don't have to draft another one like with a gun to our head, that we have a
Hmm.
solid guy in the room also, right? And then 30 million, like you're saying, 30 million to spend, solid guy on the roster, WR2, and that's a big reach because it's only one great game, but so it's a reach. There's no argument here. Um, if one of those picks worked out and was a really good player, I think you're good. If the other one comes, it becomes a Jamal Adams fleecing.
Facts. Facts.
Also, what happens if Sauce doesn't get over his little bit of issues? Let's see if he continues to drop balls, not turn around, continue to get PI penalties, right?
Yeah.
What if that's him and he's good, one of the best coverage guys in the league, but let's say he's not that extra level of good. Because that is a limitation when like you don't make the big turnovers or the needle moving plays that great defensive players make. It matters. And it doesn't mean he's not really good. He could still be one of the best cover corners in the league and be really good, but in no way would that justify or match what we have gotten if Mitchell really is a solid WR2.
Yeah. Because I mean,
And
30 million
those 2 picks and the money.
well, and on their side of things, like paying Sauce 30 million, if he doesn't make those kind of plays you're talking about, if he's solely a coverage guy, you can't dedicate more salary to putting someone next to him so they can just throw away from him. Well,
If if
why
you
bother?
if you look at the Colts schedule right now, the rest of their schedule, they've lost 3 out of the last 4. Sauce is gonna be out for a couple of weeks. Daniel Jones is banged up. They no longer have control of the division. They are now in the middle on the wild card, and there's a plenty of teams in the hunt, and they've got some tough games ahead. Do people understand when we first got that pick, they were like that everybody it was like pick 30 when you did the mock drafts. If they don't make the playoffs, it's top 18 pick. It's a top 20 pick. It's like 17, 18, whatever it ends up being. So the difference between the 17th or 18th pick in the draft and the 30th pick in the draft or the 29th pick in the draft is tremendous. Like, difference being, let me give you an example. If we traded back, look what we had to do to trade from like 25 to 17 or 24 3 to 17 when we got AVT. So if you wanted to give an example of, okay, you guys think it's not that much of a difference. Okay, then let's go back to 28. Let's go back. Like if they don't make the playoffs and we're at 18, let's go back to 28 because it doesn't make a difference. Do you know the draft capital you can get back to go back those 10 spots? What, a
Mm,
second and a third or a second and a
yeah,
fourth?
that's
Right?
that's nice. That's
Right. So I'm
nice.
just giving an example of the value of that. So for and it doesn't hurt us at all. We don't have to root against our team. All we have to do is root against the Colts.
It is, yeah, and with Daniel Jones and his fractured leg, and it's like, yeah, like you said, started out pick 30. It might wind up picking the teens. We'll see, man. But you're right. The players we got at the deadline, especially, looking good, man. We saw Mechie at his best in one game. We saw Mitchell at his best, I think, in this game. We just got to see it consistently now. But at least we saw like a lot of their ceiling kind of things.
Yeah.
It's got to have every Jet fan feeling good. Um, and let me ask you this: Murph chimes in because he went to bed, but he gave us a couple nuggets to get us going. Is Arian Smith's chance at being a usable player cooked now that both Mitchell and Mitchell are making an impact, Jeremy?
Um, I don't think it's cooked. I mean, I think I think part of the issue that Smith was having was Fields' inability to go past the second progression. I mean, it was pretty much Garrett Wilson or check it down to Mason Taylor or Brees Hall. I don't think there was much of an opportunity for anyone on the team unless you would have in the play, the first read, the first target. There's an advanced stat out there that, for a big portion of the season when he was actually getting reps and qualified, that he was in the top of the league in creating space between him and it's not like he was dropping passes. He just wasn't having the ball thrown to him. So we don't know. But he was
Well,
creating space. He was creating he was
separation.
top 10 in separation. So one day when we have a real quarterback, and you have him in there, no matter what, he's going to have a role because of his speed. He's always a guy you could bring in at a certain point of the game that takes the end off. Like, in other words, protect the other players because you have him shoot deep, and a safety has to go back there.
Perfect wide receiver 4, if you ask me.
Yeah,
You got your two outside guys, you got your slot guy, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, man. Bring him in to burn. But he's got to be
then you need another guy, right? That's good. That if one of the two get hurt. So if Garrett gets hurt or AD Mitchell, if he's your WR2, fine. Or maybe Mitchell is that WR5 with Smith, but they're really both fours because, like Mitchell's the guy who would come in if either the future WR2, if it's not Mitchell, or Garrett gets hurt, but he's the guy who could come in and be a reliable boundary receiver, right? And Smith could be like not the guy that would come in and start, but the same consistent role of the guy who can come in when you want to take the end off the defense on certain plays.
I agree. I agree. Well, this kind of ties into what you saw today. I got one final one from Murph here. I want to ask you: Do you consider re-signing Terod for another year as a bridge? And I don't think he means QB2.
I think the problem with that is that he just gets injured. He's just, I mean, you can't go in there. I mean, you'd have to have another guy you can like of equal, another guy like him that's usable, to be a bridge also because he's it's not his fault. And as he gets older, he just gets that much more fragile, that much more easy to hurt. It's a couple of scares today where we thought he was gonna have to come out. This guy's never played like 3 or 4 straight games without an injury. I mean, check.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's really difficult to do that, to say, oh, and also I don't want to overrate him. Like, it was Atlanta. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
let's
Mm-hmm.
be real. And it wasn't like lights out where he threw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns or anything like that. He struggled. He was a game manager. I mean, we're putting him higher because compared to Fields, It was dysfunction versus function, right? But it wasn't amazing or great or anything that outrageously good. Against Buffalo, it might not look that good, right? Against, just name any team, like fill in the blank, right? Of top teams. I don't know that anybody would be thinking they want Tyrod as the guy. I think I don't know. It's tough. It's tough when you talk about. We really hope that Justin Fields would at least be at the level. Not that he was. I never thought he was great or that the good of a quarterback, but I didn't know he was going to regress and be dysfunctional, like completely unusable. I was hoping he could be the bridge. Just if he played the way he played in Pittsburgh, just manage the game.
Yep.
But he just
Same.
couldn't do it. He just couldn't do it.
I'm with you, Tarod. I mean, if you deduct that 52-yard bomb he had, he had 120 yards after that, or like around that. He had 120 yards, 18 to 32, no touchdowns. So
And
that
it wasn't.
one
And it
play,
wasn't a great pass.
no, it was great in the sense of what happened on the play before. That's when he had that injury scare, and then
Yeah.
he dusted himself. That's the only reason. But it's hard not to overrate him because we're judging it against what we got the rest of the year.
Right, but I'm saying it's
And
not like he dropped it in or threw this beautiful
oh,
in
no, no,
stride
no,
pass. It was more on AD Mitchell for doing a great job getting some separation and then
the,
tracking the ball really well.
and the corner fell down.
And the corner fell down.
The corner fell down. It was underthrown. It was like it was up there forever. Yeah, but uh, going back to what you initially said, and that's would you, in conjunction with a second guy of the similar ilk? Yes, I would take him with the Mariota,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
there you
have
go.
them like the Giants formula they had this year, where it
Yeah.
was Russ, Jameis, then Dart. If we could do Mariota, Terod, and then Dante Moore, uh, or any rookie you
Yeah,
want to
yeah.
put
I
in
mean, look,
there,
he could
you know what
be
I mean?
like I know everybody hates him, but at this point he's cheap and nobody cares about him. I mean, like Russ Wilson. I mean, Russell Wilson, he's functional. He's not
Yeah,
great, I mean,
I
by any means, but, like, he's functional. If you give him
yes,
Garrett Wilson and AD Mitchell, a good offensive line, Breece Hall, he's functional. I mean, we're talking about a bridge quarterback. We're acknowledging you're not talking about a guy who's gonna lead us to anything special. You're talking about a guy who could function,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
and
even
and that
Jameis Winston looked functional. I mean, like,
mhm,
Mariota, like you're saying, these are just guys, they're not great. They're nothing to get super excited about. We're not going anywhere with them. But they're bridge quarterbacks that are functional, where you could see what
yes.
you have. You could still evaluate the rest of the team. They could still operate like a real team.
Yeah, the floors are not the depths of hell. That's kind of what we're looking for next year, and are also not 20 million plus dollars. That's kind of where we're at next year. I am of the mind of getting two to really insulate that rookie we get. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Good question, Murph. Good night, brother. Um, I do have a couple other questions pinned, but we got to get to the Falcon talk, man. What you thought our chances were heading into the game, how you thought the game played out.
Um, I think that obviously there are issues with tackling still on this football team. The good news is it was mostly players that have nothing to do with the future of this team. Some guy named Taylor. I mean, like they were just guys because we're banged up and we just don't have a full roster right now, right? I mean, we knew that this wasn't a complete roster. We just don't have a complete roster, and there were just guys out there that weren't ready to be out there. It's funny because that guy Taylor I'm talking about, his PFS scores weren't low. He was actually in the top 10.
Jasser,
Yeah, and I
Jassir.
don't understand how, because with me and Green people were watching with our eyes, he was terrible. Um, but yeah, the tackling was atrocious.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It made Bijan, who is great, look like Barry Sanders at times. Hey, Tyler Algier might have had forced worse tackling than even Bijan. It was insane what he was doing to the defense. Very frustrating. Um, but Green Bean chimes in. He says, because we do have a poll down there, do we want to ... win as many as possible or lose as many as possible? That is a poll currently running in the chat down there. Green Bean chimes in. He says, I say we win as many as possible while tanking to get the top overall pick in the draft. So, yes, the as many as possible is the caveat. Can we, I don't know, man. Can we get the Titans to be good at some point, in all this? Tough. Tackling, you're right though. Tackling atrocious. What did
And
you
we
think?
need a real linebacker. Like Sherwood could be the sidekick, he could be the second linebacker, and that would be fine, right? And Quincy's probably gone anyway or whatever. He could be that. He sometimes makes a big play. We need a guy. Like we need a man, as Greenby would say. I want a man. You know what I mean? Like we just need somebody who's, the guy that's just there, the guy that Cleveland drafted. You know what I mean? Like a kid that's just a monster, a beast, hard hitting on every play, sideline to sideline. I mean, that's the good old days with the Jets, right? When we had great linebackers. My
Yeah.
whole life, throughout all of our different phases of being good, we had that guy, and I want that back. We need to get a real linebacker.
I think we do this offseason. I don't know how. Are we gonna, I think there's one in Detroit heading into free agency. So that could be an option. Or I'd rather draft one, man. We got 4 picks in the top 45, 50 picks. Yes, that's got to be a priority. It does. Quincy made a few plays today, but he also made some boneheaded stupid shit as well.
No, we just need a super smart leader. Like we need a
Yes.
freaking captain. We need like Mosley, right? When it was in his
Yes.
prime. Remember when we first got Mosley, the 3 quarters before he got hurt in 2019, before
Buffalo.
COVID, before the world changed. Those 3
Yeah.
quarters against Buffalo, that's what I'm talking about. He was dominant. I want that kind of linebacker back. And guess what? The one thing that 2026 draft is going to offer is it's a good linebacker class.
Good
It's
to
a
know.
really strong linebacker class we got coming
That's
up.
good news. That's
Yeah.
good news, man. Yeah. You're right though. First glance, tackling atrocious. What else do you want to say? Do you want to say anything about the offense? Or I mean, it was 7-7, tied up at the half.
Well, I mean, the offense, if you take away the special teams and like a couple of the gifts, I mean, the turnover, whatever, with the kickoff, it was atrocious. That's why people are saying, okay, Taylor, bridge quarterback Taylor. Are they forgetting that 2 of the touchdowns came as gifts, as Greenway would say? I'll do his imitation of him. It was a gift. I mean, it was like, they were gifts. And I'm not trying to, Tyrod Taylor did his job. He's fine. He's a backup quarterback. He was brought in here originally as a backup quarterback. I'm not going to complain about him at all. As long as he comes in and manages the game and gives us a chance to win, he's doing what we hired him to do, and nobody can really complain about it. But are we looking for a little bit more than that in a bridge quarterback? Do we want something a little bit better than just manage the game, but somebody who actually, like Mariota, an interesting guy. Sometimes he's actually played with a spark, where he's played really well and done some things like went beyond just managing the game. And again, I think that I'm not trying to take shots at him. I appreciate what he did, and he's fine today, but let's not overrate him, because there was a lot of ugliness in our offense today. If you go back and watch that game.
Fair. And honestly, I thought Kirk played better than he should have as well. Call me crazy, but 21-33, like he outplayed Terod on just a statistical standpoint. One thing I wanted to see is, okay, yeah, they beat us time of possession, 33 minutes to 27. Yeah. You know what we did do, which was kind of shocking? We won the takeover battle, Jeremy.
Yeah.
It wasn't our defense, though. Thoughts on that play by Atlanta, Georgia native Quantez Stiggers?
Look, I like him. He's a smart player, because I said it to Green Bean during the game. I I know people want him to pick up the ball and score, right? Why didn't he pick it up and score? How many times have you seen a guy try to he doesn't know where everybody is. He's coming down full speed, right? There's no way he knows when the ball gets loose. He doesn't know. How many times do you see a guy try to pick up a ball and somebody then hits them and the ball goes rolling, it could go out of the end zone or they could recover. You sit what are you trained to do? It's the football is a grenade. When there's a
Yeah,
fumble, the ball is a grenade. You jump on the ball. You
yeah,
secure the football. He did his job.
yeah.
That's why I like
I
Stingers.
I I don't I that's the first I've heard of someone being mad that he didn't scoop it and score. I think that's ridiculous because it's a football, it's not a baseball. It can take a weird bounce anytime. If you do try to scoop it, how often does it take a weird bounce and you fumble it and someone else is right behind you and they get it? Not even considering deducting points off him for that. My main thing was dude fell on it, nobody touched him, and he slid into the end zone. Since when is that not an advanceable ball? Like, is that
I
always
think
been the
I think
case
I think on kickoffs, it's like
on kick?
it's like, it's like if a ball, it's like it's almost like, it's hard to explain. It's like the muff rule that used to be, like you couldn't advance the muff. It's like when you give yourself up falling on a ball on a fumbled kickoff, it's like the college rule. If you're down, you're down. I don't
That's
know why
and
that's the rule. I don't know why. I can't sit there and say,
no,
a reason, but that is the rule.
that
Like, so
is what I figured too.
the refs didn't make a mistake. It is the rule. I can't explain the why of that rule though.
Right, right. And I don't know that Stiggers was thinking that either. He might have just thought, "Hey, man, I just slid in there anyway. Who the hell cares? I'm not going
It's
to
all,
scoop and
it's all
score."
happening within a second.
Yeah.
I
Right,
mean, it's
right.
all happening in the moment, right? So
Yes.
you're not gonna sit there and lay there and think, what do the rules say? Am I allowed? You're gonna grab the ball and it doesn't hurt you to then slide into the end zone. And maybe part of them knew and maybe part of them didn't. It doesn't matter. But the instinct was no
Yeah.
reason not to roll into the end zone.
Dude, and like, why are we even having this conversation? We scored the very next play. Like, fans, come on, man. Like, we scored the very next play, and it was
Yeah.
Brees Hall,
And
who a lot of you guys probably had in your parlays. Like, just take the win, man.
it wasn't too bad. It's not like people were. It's not like it was tons of people. Somebody said, "You got to
Right.
get that in." Why didn't you get that in the end zone? Most people are just confused about the rule.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why
Okay.
isn't that a touchdown? I
Yeah.
think I
Yeah.
think
That's what I
I
was
think
thinking.
the major majority of fans, I think, understand and have seen it as fans enough times to understand that you have to fall on the football.
Yeah.
And if you get a
Agreed.
guy has the presence of mind, if it's in a situation, a defender, the ball pops out of the quarterback's hand and no one's there, it's rolling forward, and you could judge and you pick it up and you run with it. As long as you get away with it and pick it up and run with it, then the fans are happy. But remember, if you instead bobble it and it gets kicked forward and out of bounds, then or the other team recovers it, then you're pissed. Why didn't you just fall on it? So to me, it's never wrong to fall on it when they try it, and you're nervous about it when they try to pick it up. It's like, no, no, just fall on it,
Yeah.
right? You're yelling
Yes.
that, just secure the ball. But when they pick it up and then they run with it, then you're happy and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, we got away with it.
Yeah.
But I can't see ever being mad at a player for following one of the most fundamental things in football. When there's a
Yeah.
fumble and a loose ball, you fall on it.
It was good to see him get an impact play like that, though, in front of his home team, Atlanta Falcons. Good for Stiggers, man. His mom has actually popped into my chat once or twice. Just good people, man. Stiggers, shout out to you, Quantez. Impact play for sure. It really did sway things. It got us going, I should say. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, that was a cool thing. Falcons 25 first downs, Jets 16.
Special teams,
That's kind of how it felt, right?
special teams, and turnovers.
Yep. Yep. I'm trying to find the penalties here. Oh, okay. Penalties. Falcons 1 for 27 yards. Jets not one. 9 for 59. So again, approaching 10. That kind of stinks, I will say. Did you see the one dude that was flopping on the ground like a
Yeah,
fish,
yeah, so that
Jeremy?
that okay, so that was a stupid one that was a stupid one, but it's one that you need to make sure never happens again.
Yeah,
The holding against Mechie was total shit. It wasn't a penalty. I mean, that was just the referees just deciding they wanted to throw a flag. It was just a bullshit call. So, I mean, it was really 8 penalties in that sense because, I mean, I really refuse to accept that as the team anything that it's out of your control. If the
yeah,
referee's gonna call a freaking holding call that's not there, what as a team could you do about that?
no, yeah, agreed, agreed. As the game wore on, it did feel like they were letting the DBs play a little more. I felt like we got robbed, and then they got the ball, and I felt like they got robbed. So I was like, okay, they're letting these guys play now. That's cool. And then they locked in for the rest of the game. So it was nice to see like a give and a take there. Because yeah, there were some very questionable boundary non-calls and calls alike. Chat, keep cooking, man. Spike the like button if you're here with us. I see 16 on YouTube, a couple more on Twitter. Appreciate you guys. Again, spike the like button. We are here, episode 6 of Chaos in the Zone.
So, I
Um,
see infrared pointing out that London didn't play. London didn't play, and neither did Garrett Wilson. So we neither of us had our WR1s,
and neither of us had our QB ones.
right?
Although, although
And their QB
we
was their backup QB is better than our, but our backup QB is better than our. Like we're both in the same situation
facts.
right now. If you watch the way Penix has been playing, Kirk Cousins is the better quarterback, and if you watch how Justin Fields was playing, Tyrod Taylor is the better quarterback. So we did have our best quarterbacks that are on our rosters playing.
Agreed. Agreed. It was running back versus running back. Hey, their running back played better, and guess what? We still got the dub. Take that.
Yeah.
Sean chimes in. He says, "I hope Dante Moore decides to come out this year, and we can let him sit. Just my opinion." Jeremy, we've talked about this at length, but I think we talked about it thinking the Jets would be inside the top 5. Now they're outside the top 5. Does that warm you up more to Dante Moore, or does that keep you about the same?
Well, he's my third choice, but that's not horrible. People will be like, "You're crazy." Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's my third. Like I'm not saying he's not going to be good. I'm just saying I feel more confident in Simpson and Mendoza. Um, Part of me might though. Part of me that's torn is would I rather have Drew Aller in like the third round if he's there? They have to by the time the combines and if he's healthy and is able to participate, things might change. But what if you can get LR in the second round? I know people are cursing and saying, no, he sucks. And then, but what if you take a shot at him? If it doesn't work out, then you always got next year to take another shot. Like, what about that? I mean, unless they like Dante Moore a lot, if they really like Dante Moore and he's the one that's there, you take him. I mean, if I'm sitting there, we don't know we're going to end up at 6, by the way. We might end up at 4. We have no idea yet. But if we end up at 6, I mean, if we end up at 4 or 5 or even 6, if Ty Simpson's there personally, for me, I'm comfortable with grabbing Ty Simpson, no doubt. Dante Moore's the only one I have reservations about, or like I feel nervous about it. He did some things I really like this week. They're like he does do things in every game that I really like. He does.
Yeah.
So I'm not against him. It's not an insult to say, I'm not anti-Moore. I just see I feel more comfortable with the other two based on evidence and what I'm seeing. But if they take him and they like him, then I'm gonna get excited about it because I'm gonna think they see something.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Actually, I watched another Dante Moore game this weekend. I'm gonna dial it back, Jeremy, because I'm even higher on him now. Um, but admittedly, I have not watched Ty Simpson. So specifically, I'm just watching more, just evaluating him, and I'll tell you, man, my untrained eye tells me that his intermediate to deep ball is the best I've seen in a long time. The timing, the arc, the placement. Like when he goes intermediate to deep, it's insane how on point it is. The only thing I can't tell though is a lot of times the D's running zone, but I will say, man, that there's times when he drops it in a bucket, just dime, and more often than not. So I love that about him. It's the processing I can't tell.
Right.
Yeah.
None of the my concerns with him are his fault.
Okay.
It's not his fault he plays in a great system. It's not his fault
Yeah.
he plays in a very protected pocket. He's not none of that is his fault. So it's nothing about him that I don't like. It's my fear and my concern is
Hmm.
just can he do it in in an NFL pro offense? Like can he
He
go
needs.
back in the pocket, progress? Can he do it under pressure? Can he, I have no doubt like and I know the throw one throw in particular that you're talking about. He definitely can make the throws.
Yeah,
Not worried
yeah.
about
If you just chop off all of their arms, give me Dante Moore. But quarterback is so much more than that, and that's where you say, the head, the intangibles, the footwork. That's where I'm still catching up. But arm for arm, more for me.
he makes some really good throws.
Yeah. But here's the current standings, guys. I know a lot of you, you know, I looked at my clock because at 4:05 Eastern today, we were tied up, looking like we were going to lose. And I had red zone on the laptop in the corner. The Saints were kicking an onside kick. They recovered it. They were marching. And then they had 4th and 1. And we had Tyrod scrambling into field goal range. And they missed the 4th and 1. And Tyrod got the conversion. At the same time, the Saints went higher and we went lower. Same exact minute. I'm like, oh, tank crowd ain't gonna like that. And guess what? I
The
didn't. I
whole
didn't
world
care.
the whole world reversed itself.
Yep, yep. I felt like Braden Mann all over it. Nah, I wouldn't go that far. Um, but yeah, here we are, man. 6. Honestly, I don't. I did not think we were top 4 worst team in the league. So I'm not boo-hooing about us sitting at 6th right now. We'll see how this pans out. We might end up 10th. We might end up 5th. We don't know. We don't know. But to sit here and say, oh, someone said it earlier. I wish I could remember who, but there was like 3, maybe even Green Bean himself, but actually it might have been 3 games. 3 games we separately fumbled on the 1 yard line, lost all 3, and you guys are still going to complain about us being at 3-9. Like we could be at 6-6. So just take the win. You're at 3-9.
I mean, realistically too, and the reason I say let's be patient about where we end up is, if we don't beat Miami, when you look at that schedule, assuming everybody's playing their hardest, the only real winnable game that I would expect us to have a real chance of winning is the Saints. Right? Like, so if we don't beat Miami, if we lose that game, the odds are at best we're going to win one more game this year. And if we, unfortunately, it's the one game I don't want to win. If I had to say which game do you want to lose above all other games, it's the Saints. I want to lose to the Saints.
Yeah, and just real quick, man, there's not too many easy ones left.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see us beating Jacksonville. I mean, they're playing for division right now, and they're a much better team than we are right now. And um, then you got the Saints. So if we lose to Miami, you're going to lose to Jacksonville. Then the Saints is the scare that we might win. And then unless New England already has it wrapped up, which I doubt they will, they're still going to be playing for the 1 seed, most likely. So they're going to play hard. And, and Buffalo, I don't, we're going to beat either of those teams. I don't know. I don't think so. So really, the 2 winnable games on this schedule are the most winnable games are Miami and the Saints.
I agree, sir. I wholeheartedly agree. Um, Anything else you want to hit in the Atlanta game? I got a couple options to deviate, but I want to make sure you fleshed out what you wanted to say about the Falcon game first.
I just, by the way, Joe Tippmann played great again. We definitely have to go draft a center or get another center. Like Titman's a guard, and we shouldn't mess with that. He's a guard, and he needs to play guard. I'd much rather replace center and have to get a center and have Josh Myers as the veteran backup and at worst case play center than to have to go out and find another, another guard. Like, just fill that hole. Just Titman's our guy. He's the guard. Then you just have to worry about the other side. Do we bring back Simpson? Are we going to sign AVT on a prove it deal if nobody else is interested and outbids us? Like, we'll figure all that out. But Titman is a guard. Center's easy, man. We got 1 million picks in this draft.
You can get,
A
round
million
3, round 3, round 4. You can get a center.
Take the kid from Indiana.
You know what, you brought up Titman. I want to ask you something that really is it's a valid question. So as you can see, I'm repping Titman here. I have a few times on this show, but just got it this year, man. I actually just received it a little over a month ago. I wore it for the Cincinnati game. We won. Then I wore it for the Browns game. We won. I did not wear it for the Patriots game. I did not wear it for the Baltimore game. And then today I said, I'm going to wear it. We won. So while I've worn this jersey during a game, we are 3-0. I need to ask you, should I be wearing this the rest of the year? Or should I be tucking it into a chest and wearing it next year?
I know a lot of people who might fly to Oregon and freaking find you, beat you on top of your head, knock you out, find that jersey and burn it.
Dude, I know
There are a lot of
too.
fans. There are a lot of fans. If they find out you're wearing a lucky jersey, they might come after you because they don't want to.
We have 3 wins, man. 3-0.
They don't want to win. Your lady might have to sit there with the chef's knife and protect the house, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just know that I will talk about Titman as much as I can because not enough people do. And to me, he's a special part of the team. And I think this offseason, we should extend that boy. Extend. I want him as a career Jet.
Agreed. Not often you get a guy like that. Also, a wonderful personality. And we're not in that locker room, but it would not shock me if we didn't hear that he's a glue guy. I fully see that. Yeah, dude, heck of a guy. Character, indeed. We need some characters. We got a character in Joe Titman. Okay, all right. Titman deserves some love. We also got a question here, or not a question, but an observation I want to with as my camera bugs out. Sean chimes in. Wonderful goatee himself. Sean says, Armand Membu looked a little rough today. He's been good tonight, or good today, or he's been good, just today wasn't his day. Hope he cleans it up a bit. Do you agree that it was one of the rougher Membu games?
It was definitely one of his rougher games, but it wasn't overall. It wasn't terrible, as people think. There were a few plays. Obviously, the penalty, right? You got to clean that up. There's a couple of plays where I think that fans have to understand. If a guy's going to go wide around the arc, you walk the arc with him, right? There was one play where people were saying, "Oh, Membu, not great." What happened was the guy went really wide around the arc, like really wide, right? So he ran all the way around and came up. On those plays, it's the quarterback's job to step up in the pocket because you're supposed to walk the guy around the arc. Now, would it have been better if Membu could have stayed with him? Right? Yes, it would have been better. But the guy went so wide, it was like he was running full speed. It was like running around the guy. You know what I mean? Like he really went wide. Typically, if you did that every play, your quarterback would see what you were doing. What you were doing. you would call a running play right to that spot because you're not sealing the edge. Like you can't do that every play. If they're filling it in with a backer, like let's say he's coming wide like that, and you fill in the edge to seal the edge with someone else, then you're going to throw there. Like you could out scheme that, right? The only thing, there was a couple there where it would have been nice if he could have stayed with the guy. So when the guy cut back up after the quarterback stepped up. Now, one of them was a pressure or looked like a pressure, but it wasn't. It was fine. Taylor stepped up. He did what he was supposed to do, and he got rid of the ball, and it was fine, but it made Membu look bad. There was another one where he was going wide a couple of times, so Membu was trying to cheat to get out there, and then the guy cut inside, and that's why he got beat. And that's fine, rookie. He'll learn from that. Never give the inside up. And he needs to learn that. And then there was the penalty. I got to watch the all-22 for the other plays because it's very easy for like 3 or 4 bad reps to stick out because he's been so good. But what if we look at all the other reps and he was fine?
Yeah. You know what? I've actually fallen into that trap myself earlier this year with Olu Fashanu. He had like 1 or 2 terrible reps, and I just had a sour taste in my mouth. And then it comes out, and he was like the top PFF tackle, and I'm like, damn. Then I go back and look at it, and it's like, okay, those were the outliers, or however you say it. Yeah, and with just watching the game broadcast, you don't get to see 90% of what's going on the line. So, like
Yeah.
Chaos said, careful prejudging it. Havmo chimes in. He says he thinks you mean, or well, here's another center, Logan Jones.
No.
Um,
Logan Jones is the premier guy. Like that's
okay,
the guy who might go into the first round, early second round. Like that's the guy. But
that's rich.
I think there's Boone or something like that, some other guy like that too. And then the guy from Indiana is day three pick.
Yeah,
It's just we like him. Like because I've been watching
right.
a lot of Indiana scouting Mendoza, and I said, wow, that's safety. I mean, that center is really freaking good. And then I looked and he's like the 150th ranked guy. Like he's prospected to get drafted, but
Hmm.
he's just not an early pick. He's just the guy I happen to like. Um I want to say one thing about Membu. The other thing is like, again, Membu has been so good that even those 4 reps and the penalty might be for him his worst game. I'm saying it's not terrible because terrible is when you have a tackle that's getting beat on the inside.
Yeah,
Terrible is when you have a tackle who instead of lining up between like a right tackle would be the defender's right shoulder and center of his face mask. So that's where you're lining up. Your nose should be in between their right shoulder and the center of their, like basically you're taking out the inside. If you're cheating to the outside and you like what some tackles do, you cheat to the outside because you're afraid of getting beat around because of speed. And he cuts in and that edge cuts in and beats you on the inside. That's terrible. Like, that's a
yeah,
problem. If that happens too much, that tackle is not an NFL tackle. Like,
yeah.
that's a problem.
It's a
That wasn't
sack
what
every time,
right,
every
right,
time.
and that's what we weren't seeing. Like, as long like, the first thing you have to look at is he protecting the inside?
Yeah, and another thing, like not to be for nothing, like the Falcons are kind of loaded on D. Like you look at their names and they got some stars, man. They got Jalon Walker, they got Leonard Floyd, they got Xavier Watts. Just they got guys, and Ulbrich is no slouch. I'm sure he designed some things as well. I'm just saying it's not like we were getting bested by
They've had
uh,
great games. They've had great defensive games. They've had great games.
yep.
Now, to be fair, overall, again, you take away special teams, people are forgetting our offense was terrible. There
Yes.
was, like, 7, 8 drives in a row that were gross. Now, a couple of them I thought we were doing okay, and then it got killed with penalties.
Yeah, yeah. Brees, I think 3.5 yards a carry, and he was majority of our offense most weeks. So it's tough. It's tough when you got a lot of 3 and outs, and then all of a sudden your D's back out there.
You
We
also
made
have
it happen.
you also have a backup quarterback in his, like, 2nd or 3rd game of the year, right? But who hasn't had a lot of reps, go with wide receivers who are new to the team within the last few weeks.
No
I
Garrett.
mean, like, these guys, normal teams, their wide receivers and their quarterback have an entire training camp. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's
Right.
real. It's real.
Indeed. Yeah.
Like, these
Yeah, it's
guys are
one thing.
still learning the plays.
Yes, correct. Mechie drops. That was bad. Whether you know the play or
Fought
not, the
back,
ball.
but I like that they kept him in and that and he got a couple of catches. He fought back. That was important. If they would, like a lot of people say, get him out of there. If you take him out and don't let him play the rest of that game, now you got a problem maybe for next week. But he stayed in and he made a couple of catches and get it out of your system. He had a bad run. They all happened really close together. He had a bad run. It's like it's good that they got him out of it. And a lot of people think he may have had a little bit of a concussion or he was a little shaken up because he did take a really big hit before those drops.
Got a interesting comment here from Barney Miller. He's
Read
begging me
this
to
one.
read. Yeah. He said he was at the game. Here's the difference between Glenn and Salah. During timeouts, this team seemed locked in. Salah's team during timeouts, dead. No spark.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Jeremy? Can you buy me 30 seconds?
Yeah,
To
it
sign
was
off?
it was evidence from what we could see on TV also. Just like when you watched Aaron Glenn, when the players, especially when they made mistakes, when they were penalized, when Mechie was dropping the ball, first one when they got to the sideline, right there was Glenn, and they didn't run from him; they went to him. They went there to be coached. They took it. They didn't walk away like you see someone walking away. Don't talk to me. He wasn't. Glenn didn't have his shoulders dropped and drooping down and looking like Salah used to, was doing. He was right there, right with them. And you could see he was telling them, you can't do that. This is what you got to do. Get back in there, focus. He was being a coach. He was being a coach. And that's what you want to see. And I'm impressed with him the last month, the last 4 or 5 games. I feel like we have a real head coach, and I think he really has buy-in from this team. I don't know if he's going to be successful all in the long run. I don't know if he's going to be the answer in the long run. I'm not saying that, but I'm starting to like what I'm seeing, and I think there are positives to take out from the job he's doing as a coach. And everybody wants to bash him and wants to beat him up and complain, and then they don't want to see potential good in him, and there might be some good there.
We could have done a lot worse, in my opinion. At least we have a budding little, like, you ask me, September versus now, a lot more promise being shown. Game management, vibes, um, player usage. There's not many things that I think are as bad now as they were in September and controllable. Um, is that too optimistic to say?
No, I mean, I think that's what he's trying to do, and he's been saying it. He's trying to build something. He's trying to build a locker room. He's trying to build an identity. And what's great is we just are scratching the surface on the talent that they're going to bring in. And the idea is to get this culture, to get this identity established, that they're all locked in, they're all believing the mission. Then when these new kids come in, these first round picks, these second round picks, some of these free agents are role players. But as people come into our locker room and our clubhouse, they're coming into a team where it's not a mess, where it's not Devontae Adams, his first week getting up and leading the locker room lecture because nobody, you know what I mean, where he had to get up and speak. No, you're going to be coming into a team and a culture and an identity. And that's what we want to do. And what's great is now he gets to pick his guys, and they're going to bring guys that fit their identity. Right? They're going to do all the interviews, and they're going to be really selective, and the guys that come in are going to be their guys. And they're going to like that they know are going to fit into what they're establishing. I think we got a lot to be excited about, man. There's going to be a lot of talent coming into this building in the next couple of years. We all know that the quarterback is everything. Like that piece is there. But aside from just that need for quarterback, the other part of it, there is a lot of talent on its way. We have a ton of capital.
Facts. And that's assuming like, even if we do trade up for a quarterback, there's still a lot of talent on the way, man. We have so many like second rounders and shit now. What if
Oh
you
yeah,
don't?
it's not like we'd have to give it all up, right?
No,
And
no.
don't forget, 2027, our salary cap, our finances look really good.
Clean book. Uh, not bad. Well, depending on fields, but clean book. And that's if you don't, or if you do have to trade up, you'll still have assets. If you stick and pick, you have a bevy of talent coming in. And then the other thing I want to lay out there is not a lot of people talk about it, but like there might be a scenario where one of our firsts we trade back and we get more day two picks. And all of a sudden you got a dozen day two players coming in here. Like that to me is, if you can stick and pick a quarterback fifth overall this year, and then all of a sudden you got a dozen day two guys coming in behind them. Oh man.
I'm just
Eat.
like I'm saying, man. That's why I'm saying if the Colts were to get knocked out of the playoff race, like because they're already got knocked out of the top of the division, if they continue to lose games and then suddenly they find themselves out of the playoffs, you could take that 18th pick and trade down to 33, 34 if you wanted.
Dude,
Do you know
wet
what you
dream.
get for that?
Wet dream. Dude, that's
You would.
I'm a trade down guy, so I love
I
it.
mean, do you know what you would get for that? I mean, remember, don't forget what we paid to trade up for AVT. Like you can't forget that. We traded up like 7, 8 spots. We gave up 2 picks, 2 really good picks. One was like, I think there were a couple of thirds. We gave up a lot. So you get day 2 picks, you trade back, and 33 is still a really good pick. It might be the guy we wanted anyway. Maybe it's that center, right? Or, maybe it's, there's a bunch of guys right in that sweet spot. I'm not saying we definitely do that because at 18, they could also take Chris Bell out of Louisville, the wide receiver, and I'm a very happy guy also.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. But then, hey, if you got a quarterback, you got 3 more firsts next year. As Clancy says here, man, 5 firsts, 3 seconds over 2 years. It's not big, man. It's massive.
Yeah.
And I agree. That's like 3 teams drafts. Literally, it's more than that. It's
Yeah.
more than 3 teams drafts, man.
And we have a GM that seems to know what he's doing. With him and Glenn together, they're on the same page. They know what kind of guys they want. When you look at the talent they're bringing in with no investment, they're trading. Hey, we'll give you our 6th round pick for your 7th round pick, and this guy Briggs. The next thing you know, we got a real player, like a role player, rotational guy that's going to get reps for the next, whatever years for this team. Like they're bringing in real people: Brownlee, Briggs, Phillips, Mechie, AD Mitchell. I mean, these aren't stars right now. Well, I'm not claiming we're winning a Super Bowl with them, but they're important players. They're role players. They check boxes. They're no longer guys that you have to, because even those kind of guys have to be drafted. Day two, 3rd round, 4th round, you have to draft to get a guy like Briggs, to get a guy like Phillips. AD Mitchell, you have to use a 2nd round pick. He was a 2nd round pick if he keeps playing like this.
Right.
If he keeps playing like this, he's a justifiable 2nd round pick type of guy.
He even came out today and he said after the newness of the trade wore off, one thing's for sure, he is happy to be a New York Jet. Dude, I love it. Fresh vibes. Dude, I saw some of his highlights out of Texas today. Oh my God, that kid was a stud at Texas. It's no wonder he went in the 2nd round. It was
We
fringe
loved him. We loved him, and people are forgetting it. It's like amazing how people are already saying we got a WR4. It's like, why are we automatically assuming that he can't be a very good wide receiver? He's in his 2nd year. He's in his 2nd year. If you look at Tyreek Hill, look at his numbers his first year. And I'm not comparing him and saying he's going to be that. I'm just trying to make a point. Look at what's his face for the Steelers, Antonio, the guy who ended up being a lunatic.
Yeah.
Do you think he was great the first year?
A lunatic.
but he what? Like Antonio Brown wasn't. He wasn't a superstar his first couple of years. It took him. He literally progressed. This guy got off to a bad start. Right, he did that fumble thing where he showed off and he dropped the ball, and then he got in the doghouse of his team, and you know what I mean? Like he needed a fresh start. The talent is there. We prospected this kid. We had him really right. We had him right. Domsey had him as his 5th ranked wide receiver. We were in love with this kid as a possible Jet.
I was going to say
only in his 2nd year. He's like literally in the middle of his 2nd season.
I wanted to trade back in that draft to like 20 And I feel like and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't he like a target in the at 20? I don't know what maybe things slipped later, but pre-draft wasn't he like around a 20th overall pick?
There were people who thought he could be, even
Yeah.
the day, even on draft day. It wouldn't have been impossible. We've seen people reach more. Was it? Who was it? Wendell Robinson or something? The Giants picked. They jumped up and picked a guy. I don't know if it was there was somebody who went in the first round, a wide receiver, a couple of years ago, who we were all shocked that he was a first round. We had him projected as a second rounder. It wouldn't have been that crazy for AD Mitchell to go in the 20s of the first round. That wouldn't have been crazy at all. He was
Yeah.
that good. It was a
Yep.
great draft for wide receivers, right? I mean, you had Neighbors, you had Marvin Harrison, you had Neighbors, you had Adunze, you had oh no, that was different draft, but not Adunze. You had Neighbors, you had what's the other one? Oh no, it was Adunze, right?
Yeah.
You had
Odunze, it
Odunze,
was
BTJ,
Worthy,
BTJ,
Coleman, BTJ in order, yes.
right,
And then Worthy, Coleman,
right. It was
Corley later on. It
right.
was
it was
a
just, it was a
historic wide receiver
Right, it
draft.
was a great wide receiver draft. Domsey had him as 5. He had him behind he loved BT he loved, obviously, Marvin, Neighbors, Adunze. He loved BTJ, and then he had
Mhm.
5th, he had AD Mitchell. I mean,
Ahead of Worthy and Coleman.
this was very recent.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
this
oh,
is,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh, he's been disappointing for 3 years, and we think he's gonna
No.
come back." No, he's in the middle of his 2nd year, and he wasn't given a chance at all this year. I don't know if it was his attitude. Maybe he didn't gel with the coaching staff. Maybe he didn't handle it right, but Aaron Glenn welcomed him in and gave him a fresh start.
And he got punched in the mouth, so if it was an attitude thing, you gotta think he's gonna be smart enough not to do what he just did twice. Yeah, dude, a perfect time to take a shot on a guy. Also, you get 2.5 years plus or 2.5 years out of the guy for cheap labor. Love it. Clancy chimes in, he says, "Imagine a Carnell Tate with those 3 guys plus a little Arian Smith. Now that's a wide receiver room." Thoughts on Tate? I mean, he exploded again this weekend.
Look, I don't know when we would take him if we took him. Would he be there at 18? I doubt it. That's why I only say Chris Bell, not because I like him better than Tate. I say Chris Bell because I'm trying to be realistic,
The
right? Of
value and
who
the
could be there.
range.
Well, who could be there? Who could be
Yeah.
there around 20? That's why I'm saying the Colts have to not make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, there's no way I don't think Chris Bell makes it past the 23rd, 24th pick. We definitely have to pick before Buffalo.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that
let me
Colts
ask you
pick has
this.
to come in front of Buffalo's pick, because if Buffalo picks ahead of us and those other, and Chris Bell's the best wide receiver on the board, he's gone. Buffalo's getting a wide receiver.
If we're sitting at 6 and 3 quarterbacks are gone, Arvell Reese gone, Ruben Bain gone. Do you take a Caleb Downs or do you slide, Jeremy?
Well, I would have no problem taking Downs, and then you left if those guys were picked, that means the number 1 wide receiver would be on the board, the kid from Arizona State. From Jeremiah, whatever his name, like that. I will not argue if we take that.
Okay.
Then
At
we'll have
6 is
yeah,
fine.
let's have 2 true WR1 receivers. Let's bring in another super stud alongside Garrett, and then have AD Mitchell be your WR3 boundary receiver. Mechie is your slot. And then have Arian Smith as your take the end off the defense. I could live with
He's a lottery ticket at that point, and that's fine. That's
that.
fine.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah,
I
right?
mean, you bring in that kid with Garrett, and then you have AD Mitchell, and then Mechie, as long as he cleans up what he did today, with the drops, as long as that isn't a repetitive issue, which I don't think it will, because it never was in his career in Alabama. It was never an issue. So I don't foresee it being an issue. I will be very happy with our wide receiver room, and there's a chance that it'll be one of the top in the NFL if this kid from Arizona State pans out. Because think about what that means for Garrett Wilson. It means you can't double him anymore as easily. Right? You bring in another guy at that level. What do you do if you're a defense? You're going to double cover 2 wide receivers? Then we're going to have our slot eat you alive, or our tight end is going to eat you alive, because you're not going to have any safeties.
You know what? I will push back a tad on this, and not in a bad way. More so, I want to spin it like if we do invest a premium resource in a wide receiver, my preference is it being a big-bodied X because I would love to see more Garrett Wilson in the slot. So I
Well,
don't know about the
Chris,
guy you
Chris,
mentioned. I
well,
don't.
I'm not sure about the guy from Arizona, but Chris Bell is 6'3", 6'4", at 4.4 speed.
Okay, fine. All I'm saying is Garrett Wilson is great outside. He would be exceptional in the slot. We've been saying it for years now. Dude, when Devontae came, it didn't make that happen, nor did he get the targets after that either. I don't know. Just give me a big bodied X, maybe 80 Mitchell on the other side, Garrett in the slot, man, and then Mechie is your 4.
But
Ooh.
I'd still want to line Garrett up everywhere. Like, yeah, you can
Yeah,
line him
sure.
lots of times, but every once in a while you roll him out to the boundary because he could. There's no point in wasting the fact that he's capable of, that he's such a good boundary receiver. But if you want to sometimes like just mix it up, the other team, you can mix it up game by game. Nobody knows what's coming if you have that kind of talent. So now all of a sudden you're lining him up in the slot. Sometimes that's going to give teams freaking fits. You're gonna put a slot corner on freaking Garrett Wilson. You're gonna put a nickel.
Right.
You're gonna put a nickel corner on Garrett Wilson.
That's
Really?
what I'm
Good luck
talking
with
about.
that. Good luck with that.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, I love that. I love that idea. Just getting Garrett as less of a statue out on the edge, and like you said, just working him everywhere, wherever suits you. Charles chimes in. Imagine bringing in a wide receiver that makes Garrett the number 2. I
That
will imagine that.
could
Let's
happen.
assume.
It could
Yeah,
happen.
let's assume we didn't already. All right, maybe not that, but
No, I could tell even if you watch the way he did it, Mitchell, he was really good. I was very happy today. But even in just watching him play today and even getting 100 yards, he wasn't Garrett Wilson. He's not as twitchy. You know
yeah,
what I mean? In the way
correct.
the routes and everything.
I will say his toe dragging and toe tapping on the boundaries was very good, like more than I thought. That might have been the best part of his game. But yeah, pump the brakes on that talk. But a very good 3. If you can get him to be your 3 instead of your 2, even better. But we also got to see consistency.
I cannot
Consistency is key.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see if Garrett comes back healthy and plays. I cannot wait to see AD Mitchell when he's not drawing the best coverage. When he's,
So
playing opposite, when he's playing the Y.
that brings up a great point because we had this talk on Friday. I think Friday, but regardless, we had this talk, and I was one of the only people saying don't shut him down. Where are you at with the Garrett Wilson chatter? Are you of the mind of shut him down and just bubble wrap him till next year, or
It depends when he's
is
ready.
this?
If he's
Yeah,
if he's ready to play with 2 games left in the season, you shut him down. If he's ready to play against the Saints, in 2 weeks from now, he's perfectly healthy, it's hard to shut him down. What do you tell him?
yeah, you gotta
I
physically
mean,
hold him out. I think.
what do you tell anyone? What do you tell like it's too early. You shut it down for a couple of guys. Like if a guy's missing, 10 games, 8 games, and there's 3 games left in the season, we're shutting him down because he's not, he's still rehabbing. He's not completely there. But if he's fully healthy and there's 4 games left, I don't know how you do that. I mean, if they do it, fine. I'm not going to complain. But the reason I would justify playing him, if someone said, "But why would you?" is because evaluation. We want to know what we have with AD Mitchell. And we're seeing him as the lead guy. We're going to get to see a little bit more of him. But then I want to see him as the number 2 guy. I want to see what it looks like when you have those 2 guys on the field together.
Yeah, I'm with you. Others not so much. Charles shut down Garrett for sure. I think Murph was the same.
Well, it's all about
May
it, but it's about health. I mean, if he's coming back and like it's like, if we were a playoff team and you bring a guy back and, even if they're 90%, but if the doctors say it would be better to not play, obviously Garrett's future, his next 5 years after this year, is a million times more important than him playing now. But if he's 100%, I can't complain. Like I can't say, why are you playing him? If he's 100% good to go.
yeah, Um, and true, like I think Murph's spin was, well, he was deemed safe to play last time, and then he re-aggravated shit, and we just don't want that to happen again. But I think he would agree with you if it's 100% bill of
Well, yeah,
health.
and he
Yeah.
wasn't 100% Bill Health. They said he was safe to play again, but I didn't agree with it. I was the second they showed him holding his knee, I said, "What are they doing? Why is he in? The season's over. Why are you playing a guy who wasn't 100%?" I'm saying if you know all the tests are in structurally, he's 100%. You know, he was safe to play or deemed good to play, but he was not 100%, and it was a mistake to play him.
A question you may or may not know the answer to. I know I don't, but Grinch chimes in. He says, "Is it true they played Lazard over Arian simply because he blocks better?"
It may be because it just depends on the game plan. It may have been that there weren't that many plays they were gonna play that was gonna go far into the progression to use either of them. I mean, the one throw Lazard got was a tip ball. It was that freak play, right? So it may have been a situation where it was we're not throwing whichever one of them plays, we're not throwing the ball to them that many times. They're not a big part of the game plan, right? So it would make sense to say, let's go with the better blocker because we want to we're going against a good run defense or whatever, let's give it as many, get as many good blockers out there as possible. I mean, so it's possible that that's true. And then, it's possible that that would shift. And in a different week, depending on the game plan, you'd see Arian out there, you know?
Yeah. And let's not kid ourselves. I mean, Lazard did make one key play. It seems like he's good for one key play per game. At this stage. There was that lollipop pass by Tyrod where he got hit and it went sky high. And then Lazard did just the instinctual thing and he went up and he got it. It was a key play. I'm not, I'm all in jest, but like key play, key
Yeah,
conversion.
yeah, but it wasn't really
And
meant for him.
no, yeah,
Like,
no,
what,
no.
like, so he definitely, so maybe they said, maybe because he wasn't part of the game plan, and maybe Smith wouldn't have been part of the game plan. And they said, let's go with the better blocker. It makes sense.
It does make sense. I mean, Brees Hall ran the ball 19 times. You got to figure that was the plan going in. Lazard is a good run blocker. Yeah, I can see that, Grinch. Hopefully that answers your question. Chaos, I want to ask you. Harlan chimed in earlier and he said, instead of Tate, how about Lemon? Have you seen Makai Lemon and your thoughts on him?
He's good too, man. I mean, it's I'm so tired of trying to guess who's better and who's this, who's that. Sometimes, like with some guys, it stood out. I I didn't say it a lot because I knew it wasn't the popular opinion, but there were a few of us. I don't know if you were one of them that used to say, we think Neighbors might be better than Marvin Harrison, and it's his name. Like if he wasn't named Marvin Harrison, like yes, he's big and he's special and he was great at Ohio State, but Neighbors was really freaking special. He looked a lot like Jefferson. Um, I don't know, man, yet. I mean, it's only November. My deep analysis and watching tons of film and everything doesn't start until January. So for right now, I might end up liking Lemon better. The only guy I saw a lot of that I put some early work into was Chris Bell. He caught my eye, so I watched some tape on him and I went and I looked it up and I really like him. But that's a guy who is at 20, right? I need to look at the kid from Arizona State. I need to look at Lemon. I need to look at them, and I'm gonna, like I do every January. By the end of January, I'll have my ranking.
Yeah, and sorry. I mean, it's a chat that really stoked that. I don't mean to get because that's an offshoot of Tank Talk. If you ask me, at this stage,
No,
we're
but it's like
still
we did mention though. We had
yeah,
mentioned like, what if we take a wide receiver, and I brought up Chris Bell, so it's totally fair for someone to say, "What about Lemon?"
yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
And
Good point.
I can only say I don't know yet because I haven't started yet. Yeah.
You know what I will say is, and it's this very surface level analysis. I watched USC play Oregon week before last. Not only did Lemon just do excellent wide receiver one type stuff as a pass catcher, but they also ran a wide receiver pass play, and he threw a fucking dart to the pylon. He passed a dart to the pylon. His tight end went up and got it, man. Perfect touchdown.
Hmm.
Exceptional. It showed me the athlete that he is, and I don't know that answers your question or whatnot, Harlan, but I'm just saying that kid, he could be special. Uh, Something to watch. I also think you got to pay way more to get Lemon than you do to get Tate. Maybe I'm crazy, but I think Lemon's a little higher on the big board at this stage. We'll see, though. We'll see.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it's a long way to go. It's a long way.
yes, and a lot of the people making big boards haven't even done their full due diligence yet. They're just kind of poking and prodding right now, and they're gonna, things will sort themselves out this spring.
I mean,
That's all I'm trying to say.
wide receivers I usually have by January, and they don't change that much. Like the combines, just typically don't impact that much for me. Like something major would have to happen. Like the speed was off, and the school lied, and the speed was way off, and it was 4.6 or something, and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
but like maybe I move the guy down a little bit. The combines, like for me, wide receiver pretty much stays usually very similar. The thing that changes for me a lot, things that vary, like my guys for positions, offensive line shifts a lot for me from the Senior Bowl to the combines, especially with tackles, because that's when they do the measurements, right? So if a guy has 31-inch arms, I'm gonna drop him. Like he's gonna fall on my chart. It's just a matter of statistics and
Will
reality.
Campbell.
Well, yeah, I mean, but Will Campbell, because it wasn't a great draft for tackle. It's not like he dropped out of the first round for me or anything, but I certainly was happy we took Membu over him.
Where Let me ask you this, and I don't know if you even remember, but did you knock Teteroa McMillan for not running a 40 last year?
No, no, I was like, I was so annoyed by people. I love him. He was my guy. I freaking loved him. Like that was the one thing I said to Dom C, man. That was the one thing if we disagreed on anything, and not that he hated Tetman, but he was like, "Oh, I have questions about him." Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, "What is going on here? Are you watching the film?" I mean, that's why I like Chris Bell because he has that Ted McMillan thing. Like it's the yards after catch, it's the explosiveness, it's the like. There's just something about him. He's just a stud, But like, man, I loved him, man. I loved him.
I did. I actually wanted him at 7, but that was more so when I thought that we could get Morgan Moses back for 1 year and then, take a tackle development like second round, third round, or circle back
My
this
my
year.
my thing was take Ted McMillan and then take Ozzie Trapilo.
They
And
even
guess
better.
what? Ozzie Trapilo is the starting left tackle for the Bears.
But full disclosure, I am not at all mad that we took Membu.
No, 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 no.
But
He's
could you imagine T-Mac with Garrett? Like, that's an X,
right.
and
I
Garrett,
I'm not saying it to give anybody crap about it or saying we should have taken him. I'm just saying how the hell how were people brainwashed to start turning on him? Did people watch the film? It was so obvious. He's doing for Carolina exactly what he did in college. He's just a big time player, and
but
it
he's
was
he's
very cool.
hiding. He's hiding how slow he is.
He's an
Chaos.
athletic freak. But let me tell you something about Membo. Membo's only in his rookie year, man. There's a chance he's going to end up being he might end up being a Hall of Fame tackle. So we'll see. It depends on where he is. Like some guys, they start off really good, they're really good, and they never get that much better. Like
Yeah,
he might be Membo the way we see him this year, the rest of his career. Some guys, it's just their rookie year, and guess what? They keep getting better and better, and the next thing you know, you have a Trent Williams.
yeah, correct. I do like having a tackle duo that are both kind of at the same stage because I'm hoping they push each other not to just plateau. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
they're competitive with it, even though they're on opposite sides. But you can work a lot of the same skills.
Well, Olu
Um,
was great last week, and I thought Olu was better today.
hmm Yeah,
So,
I am with you, man.
yeah.
Uh, Sir Luca chimes in, guys. The call in line is pinned, but we're not going to go too much longer. So if you do want to call in, got to call in now. I know Max was looking for it earlier, but I haven't seen him in a month or two, so I dropped it when I felt like it.
I
Sir
I
Luca,
I I don't agree with this. Like that
okay. Well, can you
there's
read
no,
it for
I
anyone
love Mendoza.
listening in the car
Oh,
or
if it says if Mendoza balls out versus Ohio State, he'll be a generational can't miss prospect. Um, I love Mendoza. He's my number one. Okay, so I'm with you with Mendoza, man. If you know what I mean, happy as a clam if we get him. um, but he's just you can't put generational on him. You can't. I mean, he just and it's not his fault. He's just not even in the right system for it. Like we don't get to see enough. He's on a running offense. We don't get to see enough of him to know that we can call him generational. I mean, Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. I mean, when you look at even Trevor Lawrence, you can't. I mean, I love Mendoza, but if Mendoza was there the year of Trevor Lawrence, he wasn't going above Trevor Lawrence.
well, I think this piggybacked off of Grinch, who of course Grinch started this nonsense, but he said, "Let's see Mendoza versus High." I mean, I agree. Let's see Mendoza versus Ohio State to see if he's the guy. I will agree with that because I see Mendoza a couple games, and every game I've seen him in, he was 3/4 of the game mid, and then 1/4 of the game exceptional. I would like to see him
Here's
against
my
Ohio
problem.
State.
But here's my problem with this, right? Ohio State is like an NFL defense almost. Okay, Indiana's had problems. Their offensive line is banged up. It's also the players around you. Um, like you just his best receiver has been hurt, has been out. Like when is Surratt coming back? If your guys aren't open and you're getting less than 3 seconds, is that its fault?
Uh, Yeah, I'd like to get Decorian Moore back as well for the Ducks. I do want to see that as well. I just want all these, long story short, moral of the story, all these top quarterbacks, we want to see them at their best with all their available bevy of weapons heading into this playoffs. And then let's just let them play, man. Whether it's Mendoza versus Ohio State, how about just Mendoza versus any good defense? That's just as valuable. Doesn't have to be the buzzsaw that is Ohio State, man, because odds are Ohio State's going to chop up anyone they play. Does that mean that's not a good prospect? No, that doesn't.
You also got to watch how teams played against him. Like his offensive line was banged up, and Penn State was all over him. He was under pressure the entire game. He was throwing passes to guys that were tightly covered with perfect ball placement. So it's like you could sit there and say Penn State only won 5 games, 5-7. We're not that good. It doesn't matter. Watch the film.
Yeah.
He was throwing the ball. He was getting rid of the ball in under 2.5 seconds. He was throwing the ball to guys who weren't wide open. They were tightly covered with great ball placement. He drops back in the pocket. He goes through progressions in crunch time with the game on the line. He led an incredible drive. And I'm not saying he's generational. He's not generational, but let's not like it's not. You can't just look at the box scores. You got to look at the film.
No.
You can't just look at the opponent and say, "Oh, well, that wasn't a great defense." It doesn't matter if the defense is great. It's the reality of the situation the quarterback was in. If the reality is because you don't know how his offensive line played. If the reality is the quarterback was under pressure and in duress and having to get rid of the ball in under 3 seconds, and his receivers were covered, but he was finding a way, like on barely open, and he was leading them well, and he was doing well. It doesn't matter what the opponent's name is. You can judge a quarterback by that. I have a problem with when most of the film on a quarterback is he's in a wide open pocket. There's very little pressure on him, clean pockets most of the time, and he's throwing to the guys that are 3 steps open. And it's nothing against the quarterback. It's not his fault that he plays for a great team. It's not his fault he has great receivers. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, how can I prospect a guy? How can I judge if a guy is going to play well in the NFL because in college he could throw a pass to a wide open receiver with no pressure on him. That's not realistic to the NFL. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
fair. Fair point. I got a lot of Dante Moore hype in the chat, I will say, but I gotta ask you this, Chaos. How, I don't understand how you don't see this, but from Matthew Smith, he says, "Come on, Mendoza is no Cam Ward."
Yeah, man. I mean, look, you know what? Cam Ward might end up being great. And you know why I'll say that? Because everybody beat the hell out of Bryce Young the last 2 years for Carolina, right? Everybody, garbage, garbage, garbage. Where's Bryce Young right now? How did he look today against the Rams? Right? So who knows?
He looked great. He looked. Let me just give context. Like I tuned in, it was like 4th and 5 or something. They went for it. He threw a strike to Coker for a touchdown when they needed it. Then flipped off. I didn't watch it. Then I tuned back in. 4th and 2, threw a strike to T Mac, touchdown. 2 long distance touchdowns, both on 4th down, both when they needed it. Bryce Young, man, he needs to do it every week because I think he's done it 2 out of the last 3 weeks. He's done it, but one he didn't. Like, but all I'm saying is his ceiling is higher than I thought it was. We'll see how his floor is.
Right. So before we judge Cam Ward, let's wait and see if let's give them some time to bulk up, improve the offensive line, and get him a Ted McMillan. You know, like let's see what happens. Let's give this kid time to have a team put around him. Right now, Tennessee's terrible, terrible players around him. Right, he doesn't have a good offensive line. Half their offensive line is just ridiculously bad. He doesn't have reliable receivers. They're dropping passes on him. Right, we have to see, and he's a rookie, and he's figuring it out. So we have to see. So I don't know what Cam Ward is. We'll find out. It doesn't look great right now. It's not encouraging. Sometimes you have guys that come into the league, and even though they play for crappy teams, you could see it. They have sparks where they look amazing, and they find ways. But that doesn't mean he's not going to, and we all know that now because everybody had Young as a bust, and then now we're seeing how he's playing. So we just got to wait on Cam Ward.
Segueing, Midnight Mike Show. Shout out to you, brother. I know he'll be live tomorrow night. Check him out. He says he's been saying it for weeks. Isaiah Williams has earned his spot. What say you, Chaos?
Man, that first couple of games, few games of the season that he played, what weeks 2, 3, 4, whatever it was, 2, 3, or whatever. That seems like a long time ago now. This kid is now we know why they didn't want to give up on him. Like, wow, this kid, man, he's a weapon.
Fast
He's
feet.
a weapon. He's a weapon.
Fast feet, man.
You got to pay attention every time there's a punt return or a kickoff return now. It's like we used to like just talk. We're talking. We're doing our reaction show. We're not even paying attention. No more. We got somebody who's, I think, forcing us to pay attention. And we got the other kid too, the running back who's always hurt when he's healthy, the Kenyan guy or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
he's pretty special too.
Wang Wu. Wang Wu.
Yeah, he's
I
pretty
will.
special.
I will say Isaiah Williams had that nasty return. It was that close to being a touchdown. I watched that, enjoyed that, and then I turned on Green Bean and I rewound a little bit because I wanted to see y'all's reaction to it, and that was great as well. That was like double joy for me. So yeah, Isaiah Williams, he's electric. Electric. He is, and I mean fast feet. I'm not just saying 40 time. I'm not at all. I'm saying like the bobbing and weaving is on point. Still,
I give Coach Banjo a lot of credit because that does not happen without everybody doing their assignment, man. There's a lot of coaching involved in that. I mean, it's not like the other defense. The kickoff team they're trained really well to cover their lanes, and you have to break that wall somehow. And everybody has to do their job perfectly. So a lot of credit to the coach.
AMS, friend of the channel, chimes in. He says, what we all need to be worried about is if this front office can be trusted evaluating quarterbacks. How much of the scouting room is still there since the Wilson era? Wilson era?
No, this is gone. They're gone now. That was the last draft, so we didn't have time to get rid of.
Fair.
They had to keep that scat. It's all been cleaned out. These are all, it's all Moogs now. It's like all Moogs and
Now,
it's all their guys now.
was Fields a lottery ticket or genuine interest? He's just putting all this into how much you can trust them. So let me ask you, Jeremy. I mean, we don't have all the info. We don't know who the new scouts are, blah blah blah. What we do know though, can you lump into some kind of analysis and tell us how much you trust or distrust them in evaluating a quarterback class this year?
Well, I don't think we have any idea of knowing. I don't hold Fields against them. I think that because if you look at the contract they signed Fields to, it was clearly not them saying we believe that this definitively the answer. It was clearly a contract that said, based on the way he's played, we think he could be a good bridge quarterback. Like he could get us through. It was right, and maybe because he's 25, there's an upside. Maybe just like we saw it happen with Young just now. Maybe even though he had more years in the league, maybe he just wasn't being given the chance to go back and go through progressions. We tried it and it didn't work. And he's gotten worse. He's regressed. I'm not going to mismatch that with prospecting a college quarterbacks. I think it's different. I think we saw 4-2 with the Steelers. We saw a guy who could win NFL games. We said bridge quarterback. He turned out to be dysfunctional, whatever. But I think it's different than prospecting a college quarterback.
Which may be the toughest task of all time. Even tougher in New York for some reason. Grinch chimes in. You cut them too much slack, Jeremy.
I don't know I mean, maybe I mean that's your opinion. I just don't know what I'm cutting them slack for. It's
I
like
don't even
it's
know if
I
that's
mean, no,
pointed at you.
I don't think anyone thought that I don't think anybody thought that Justin Fields was a great quarterback. I mean, I think it was just rolling the dice. It was like we're bringing in a guy who looked like he could at least manage games, and he was very dangerous on his legs. He was 25, and they thought maybe there's a chance he can have some upside, and he didn't. And he regressed for whatever reason. He regressed, maybe because he's trying not to run as much, and he's trying to be a pocket passer, and that's just been a disaster. I'm not really, giving them slack. I'm just saying I'm not going to do a final judgment on them and walk away and saying we cannot trust them to draft a quarterback in the draft because they signed Justin Fields. If they would have signed Justin Fields to a 5-year deal, like long-term thinking, this is our guy,
Yeah.
then I'd say even that it's different than a college quarterback, but I would be like a little weird.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
little weirded out. I mean, I didn't know he would suck. I didn't think he was going to be good. I didn't think he was going to be the answer. I thought there was a chance he could be functional like he was in Pittsburgh.
You know what? Let me chime in. Let me fucking chime in on this because I want to see Indy let Daniel Jones walk, him be the top guy on the market, and I want to see the guaranteed money that he gets compared to what we gave Fields. We gave Fields 30 million guaranteed on a 2-year deal. I bet you Daniel Jones gets that on a 1-year deal. I bet you he gets double it on a 2-year deal. Grinch. I'm just saying, shitty ass free agency crop. We gave him 30 million over 2 when quarterbacks that are good get 50 million per. We gave him 30 over 2. That we got what we paid for, man. Nothing, because we paid him to be the 25th paid quarterback in the league or some shit.
Right, it's
And
just
we're
a little
getting
worse than he's a little worse than we thought he was gonna be. He couldn't handle the system. Like, it was like and they found out, and they said, "Okay, that's why we didn't sign him to a long-term deal." Now look, if Grinch was a Colts fan and they signed Daniel Jones, he will deny this, but he would have said, "What a shitty signing. We have a shitty quarterback." And then if he would have sucked, he would have said, "We knew he was gonna suck."
yes,
But Daniel Jones hasn't sucked. And just like that was a surprise and no one really saw that coming, we were hoping that Fields would be something you didn't see coming. What if
yeah.
did you really believe you're going to claim that you really believe that Daniel Jones had a better chance of being, you knew that Daniel Jones would be better than Justin Fields? No.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I did? You know what I did see coming? Grinch being a killjoy, Jeremy. It's right there in the name. No, I'm just kidding, Grinch. But
Guess
I
what?
love it.
Guess what? Sometimes it's just luck. Like if it's
Might
Dante
be.
Moore, Ty Simpson, or Mendoza, what if it's just luck? What if they suck at evaluating? But we all agree out of those three, unless you're ridiculous, that all three could possibly end up being very good NFL quarterbacks. Like, what if you just get lucky? What if your evaluation process sucks, but you just get lucky?
Lightning in a bottle.
Right. I like Ty Simpson. Maybe my process sucks. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I just get lucky.
Yeah.
Right. And Ty Simpson ends up being a great quarterback.
Guess what? We got 5 lucky chances. Hey, that's one way of making your odds better. Get 2, you
Yeah.
know?
I don't know if anybody really has that better of a process than anyone. I mean, there's been a few teams where you could look at it and say, well, maybe there's something there. Shanahan seems to know what he's doing. Right? I mean, the Trey Lance thing was terrible, but then Brock Purdy. So there's your proof. Just because they drafted Trey Lance, they traded up a haul to get Trey Lance, and he's terrible. He's a backup quarterback. He never was a starter. He's terrible, right? So you could sit there and say, well, they suck. They don't know how to evaluate quarterbacks. But then they took Brock Purdy in the 7th round. So what's the answer? The answer is you can't judge someone on one move. How do you judge someone on one move? Especially with quarterback. How many times have we seen quarterbacks, mess it up and everything? And yeah, I mean, he's just here to complain now. The quarterback's a running back coach, running back's an offensive line coach. They're coaches. They're coaches. Do I want a better coach for if we draft a quarterback? Do I think they should bring in a consultant and a specialized coach for the quarterback? Who says they're not going to? Right? But do you know how many coaches switch position coaches that they are? Do you know how many guys on their resume aren't just one thing? So every time somebody switches to the new thing, oh, we're ridiculous. We're ridiculous. Our tight end coach was an offensive line coach and never a tight end coach. Do you know how many coaches go through the different levels of coaching and switch
Yeah,
and
right.
go through different position rooms? Some don't. Some stay in one their whole career.
Odds are they're not pushed that way. They're good and they go that way, you know? You know what? I'd be remiss if I ignore this one for too much longer, man. Midnight Mike Show chimes in. Dano and Chaos for life. Bam! $2 super chat, Mike, helping us reach our goal tonight of 1 super chat. You're the man. Midnight Mike Show tomorrow night, 9 p.m., I believe. Don't quote me. 9 p.m. Eastern. Check him out. Also, we have the Broncos, the Commanders in overtime, Jeremy.
Wow. Oh, I do want to say, maybe it
Yeah.
makes sense that the quarterback coach was a running back coach. I mean, we signed Justin Fields. He seems more like a running back than a quarterback.
Hey, at least he has a pulse. This one. No, shut up, Dane.
It's
Yeah,
just
you
so
might
funny.
be right.
It's so funny. You know how many NFL coaches never played football? Like, when did we get confused that we thought like that coaches had to be players or whatever? And you don't know what they played in college or high school. What about like Parcells never played in the NFL? He's one of the greatest coaches. Did Don Shula play in the NFL? I'm not sure if he was ever a professional player. Maybe, maybe not. Do we even think of him as any position though? I mean, like, what are
Right.
we talking about here? Do you understand what coaching is? Like, you could learn to be a coach and how to coach technique without playing the position.
Grinch, would you feel better if we recruited Josh McCown this offseason and got him to be our quarterback coach, even though he sucked? He sucked as a quarterback. Would you care? Would you then say, but our quarterback doesn't even know the position? Like, would you? I don't know. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Um, Adirondack says, I want the quarterback with the boy. I think he means a fly guy. I think he means he wants one that is numb to the noise. Let's PC that up a little bit. A la Eli Manning. Yeah. Who would that be? Is there a quarterback that is just dumb to the headlines? Because I mean, Justin Fields kind of was, and that didn't pan out, Jeremy.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? Position coach shift all the time. So what if they made a couple of bad ones? They hired the best special teams coach maybe in football, the best young special teams coach in football, right? Just making that point.
Yeah, yeah. Just you gotta gotta circle back.
I always gotta circle back. You know how my mind works. I always gotta circle back.
I love it.
I
I
gotta
love it,
circle back.
man.
No, because I'm just thinking. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, okay, maybe they did hire some bad position coaches. They also hired some good ones.
Yes.
Like
And
who
I don't
cares?
think they're done. I think they're tinkering this offseason, man. I
Yeah,
think they got what they could in one cycle, and then they're gonna evaluate, they're gonna cast away the shit bags, and they're gonna get better ones that are end of contract, and this is gonna be an ever evolving
right.
staff, if you ask me.
We're assuming they're not going to assess and evaluate and assess and make changes. We're assuming that they're not. I don't know why
They're
we're
also
assuming. I don't know why we'd assume that.
you can't get everybody in one cycle. You
Right.
can't. I don't think Wilkes was that I mean, I
You have to
know they liked
you
him,
have to
but
take the people that are available.
yes, yes, and
You got
Wilkes was
hired
available.
as a coach. You got some people you're taking from Detroit that you've coached with. Great. Estran, come with me. Okay. Right. Maybe there's some couple of position coaches there. Then you got to go out in the world. You got old contacts, you got old people, and maybe some of them, yeah, they never coached that position, but they're really good coaches. Really like working with them, super knowledgeable on every part of the offense. We'll stick them in this room. If it doesn't work out, we'll assess that. But, like, you have to make those kind of decisions sometimes. You have to go with your gut. You have to go with your instinct. There's not always gonna be an experienced, good seasoned coach for every that matches up to a position room where they have a proven resume. It just doesn't work. Like, it's like, that'd be great if it was available, but we don't know what was available, man. It's like every once in a while, someone has to be the one to hire rookies or first-year coaches in certain rooms, right?
Yes,
Especially
yes.
when you're a coach that just got hired. And Ben Johnson took a bunch of Detroit staff. Some of them stayed in Detroit. So you're taking some of them with you to the Jets. I mean, like, you have to go out in the world from your old contacts. Oh, I coached in New Orleans. I got a couple of guys there I like. I mean, that's how you do it. And guess what? You're not going to nail everyone.
You're not. You are not.
Mariota is
Th-
killing me. Backup quarterbacks will be killing you sometimes.
you know what? I, dude, McCown is my like number one wish. I don't know his contract situation, what they're offering him, but the offensive coordinator in Detroit has already lost his play calling duty to Dan Campbell. So I have a feeling McCown will be offered them next. If he's not, can we pry him away? I would love it, Jeremy. What say you?
Look, I think he's ready to be an offensive coordinator, but there are things we've seen people do things to get the right coach. We've seen people find a way to make it look attractive. Let's say we drafted Ty Simpson or Mendoza or whatever. So now we really need, Dante Moore. Now we really need a quarterback coach, right? Let's say McCown loves the guy we picked, and we go to him and say, "You'll be the assistant coach." The assistant head coach. You know how you've seen that happen, right? Like the special teams coordinator is the assistant. Like, we're going to give you a shitload of money, and we're going to justify it by giving you some title, assistant coach, and your job is going to be to develop this quarterback and help the offensive coordinator work with Estran to help. Like, be part of the room and the team. And you're a senior guy. You're a very respected guy, and you'll have a big part in the room. And if he hits it off with Estran, and they have the same philosophies, then it can work great. But there's ways to do it. There's ways to entice people to come, even though it doesn't, to make it feel like a promotion, more money, and that it's a promotion. How do you do it? Well, you're the quarterback coach, but you have the title of assistant head coach.
Yeah. 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 That would be cool. Maybe that
It's
can
been done too.
pry.
I'm not inventing it. It's been done.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
been done.
No, right. Mike, again, dude, thanks for the support, bro. $2 super chat. If super chat is glory, let's add to that. He says, appreciate you, Mike, man. It really does help keep the lights on around here. It does sound like people are enjoying the show. Chaos, as we're winding down, Have Mo chimes in. Dano
Enjoying.
and Chaos are boss.
He's
What do you think
enjoying.
of
He's enjoying the show
that?
on his couch
Dude,
with remote control. Hey, I'm enjoying the show.
I enjoy, when I'm not here in the danger zone, I enjoy a lot of people's shows. Midnight Mike's one of them, as is yours when you go live in portrait mode. Chaos, I enjoy that. So yeah, I'm a viewer first, a host second. So just know, like, I've super chatted others. I appreciate the super chats just the same. Um, Something's happening in that game. I'll tell you that, man. I hear the old lady in the next room. She's hooping and hollering. Actually, okay. Denver scored 7 in overtime. Washington got the ball. They scored 6. They're about to do something. They're going to go for a 1 or 2,
Are they
man.
gonna go for 1 or 2?
Are you?
That
Do
would
you have it up?
be so ballsy if they went for 2.
Or do you? Yeah, you don't have it up, do you?
I'm opening up my YouTube TV on my phone, though, if I can get it
Okay.
open on time. Where is it?
If it's
Where's
not
YouTube TV?
Peacock. Well, I got it on Peacock. I don't know if it's on YouTube TV or not, though.
What I mean, it would because they get CBS. There it is. I
Okay.
mean, they
All
get
right.
NBC. Okay,
Good. Good. Good.
26-27. It's amazing that Washington scored.
Yes. I
And
haven't. It's been a while since I've seen back-to-back touchdowns in overtime.
yeah, it's amazing. It's gonna end up
Uh,
being a tie maybe if they only tie it, then Denver's just gonna march down and kick a field goal, so they have to go for 2.
they are going for 2. We gonna watch this live together, brother?
I'm watching it, man. I'm gonna
All right.
commentate if you need. Are you watching it too?
I am.
What do you got? I got he's clapped and they're walking towards the
Yep.
line of scrimmage. Okay.
Tell me what you get.
I got them lined up. His
Do
hands in
your
the air.
green bean, your best green bean play-by-play.
26 is in motion, whoever that is. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back, way under pressure. Ball deflected. Game over. Denver Rams. Couldn't throw it over the defender's head.
Damn. You know what is funny about this game, Chaos? Duck quarterback versus duck quarterback. What do you think that speaks on when it comes to duck quarterbacks?
They're hugging and kissing right now. Ducks, when you're a duck for life. Ducks stick together. Quack, 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 quack.
Dude, Dan Lanning, though, golly, got a good program down there. You're right. It's hard to evaluate because of how good a program he's
They're
got
a
going.
quarterback factory, and some end up being fine and some being good. We don't know about Nick's completely. We know Nick's is an NFL quarterback, that's for sure. We don't know if he's a great one. He still has terrible games, and Peyton's a great coach, and he's in a great situation. We're going to find out over the longevity of his career if he's a great quarterback, if he's going to succeed in every system, and and be the guy. But he's certainly an NFL quarterback. It's like without dispute that it's not like he's a bust or he's not an NFL quarterback. He's definitely proven that he is an NFL quarterback. Bo Nix. We just have to see how good he is.
Yeah, and this year will tell a lot. I mean, they're like leading the AFC, I think now.
Yeah,
like they're
Well,
10-2, man.
the playoffs will say a lot because they're going to be bumping into tough games, tough defenses, and sometimes you get tested. You have to do more than just the basic game plans that they're running for them. Like they have to.
Yeah,
You're going to have to rely on them, and we've seen quarterbacks take that next step because of games like that. Like the playoffs is where the quarterback or any player emerges. So we're going to see: is he going to get crushed and lose in the playoffs, or is he going to blossom?
yeah. If you had a choice of this Jets team building in the mold of Denver, where they gear up, I talked about it. 12, you could have 12 day 2 picks. Do that, make a solid ass freaking team, and have a guy like Nick's his quarterback,
It'd be great if we. Yeah.
or you could go the Buffalo route, have Josh Allen be way above and beyond Nick's, but then not so much around them. Is there a better model for you as a Jet fan?
Well, I mean, the best model is to build the best possible roster like Denver did, like to have a great roster and also get a Josh Allen on a great roster. But
Yes.
the hope is like the reason there's hope that you can just get a good quarterback. Philadelphia Eagles won a Super Bowl with a good quarterback, not an elite quarterback, a good quarterback. Denver's looking really good right now. Bo Nix, if you watch him game to game, he's not great. He has great moments, but he's a good quarterback. He's not great. He's not Josh Allen, obviously. He's not anywhere near the level of the top quarterbacks. So there's proof that there is a way that you could build a roster that's strong enough. And if you're well coached and you have a really good system, really good scheme, really good surroundings players, like on both sides of the ball, that you don't have to have Patrick Mahomes. It's always the best. It's great when you do. It's great to get the freaking Hall of Fame Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, freaking, Patrick Mahomes guy. Like we all dream about it, but if you can't get it, if it's just not in the cards, there is a path to win a Super Bowl. There is a path to being a very good team and to compete year after year. If you can put together, if you could find a really good quarterback and just have an amazing roster. It's just hard to sustain it because of the salary cap.
Yeah.
Because you have to keep drafting well because you're
Yeah.
not gonna be able to extend and sign everyone.
Dude, if we could use these picks and not need a quarterback or stick and pick one and we could have both, man. If we could just find a way, that's a pipe dream. One for another night, man. We just hit 2 hours. Chaos. I don't want to keep you any longer. I do have a super chat I want to get to. Midnight Mike show, man. Love you for showing love, man. Appreciate it. $5. He says, for no reason except I love Dano. Jets, 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 man. Love it. Chaos, love you as well, man. 2 hours. I'm gonna try to keep that as a hard stop. I know it's getting late for you. You got a Monday morning shift, I'm sure. What about like final thoughts? Because we spoke about it. We didn't want to just be a tank episode. We wanted to, talk about the actual game and we did. We also the chat took us other ways as well. So like last minute, you have the floor. Is there more of something you want to hit, or just a message you want to send to the fan base?
My only message is try to find like can we I know there's always gonna be people who want the conflict, but it would be nice as a fan base. I mean, what's sad to me and what's hard for me is that here's a day where we won and the fan base is at each other's throats, insulting each other, cursing each other, tearing each other down. I understand some people want to tank and get the best pick, and that's their path. And they're real fans and they care. And they want to tank because they believe that's what's best for the Jets in the long term. And then there are those that believe that winning every game you can matters and creating a winning culture, and that you'll find another path other than just tanking and getting the first pick to get your quarterback. No matter how much you disagree with each other, I just don't think there's reason to be angry at each other. Like, it doesn't matter. The Jets are not going to tank on purpose, no matter how much you yell for it, right? So everybody has the right to react to if they win a game to be happy or to be sad. There's no reason to be angry at somebody. It's not hurting you. If you see people cheering because the Jets won and you're mad that they won, they didn't make it happen. There's no reason to be mad at them. You could shake your head and say, "Man, I think that's a mistake. We should have lost." You shouldn't be happy right now. That hurt us. And that's your opinion. But people are insulting each other. You need mental health. You need help. You're stupid. You're ignorant. I don't understand that. It's just, sometimes there are two different philosophies and there are arguments for both. And you could just simply respect each other's rights to have a different opinion.
And if you have to argue, you can go to a different argument than just tank or not tank. One that doesn't get so nasty. There, like you said, man, that argument is kind of you're either this or you're that. There's not really much to say other than Okay. If you want to argue, let's argue Tarad Bridge next year or not. Let's argue Brees, extend him, not. Do we give Jermaine an extension or not? AVT. How's this special? There are so many things you can talk about. You don't have to go the nastiest route, the most rigid route, the nasty route, like you said. Chaos, I don't have much more to say than that, except I rubber stamped the message you just laid out, man. Glad to have you back, man. Chaos in the
Good to be
zone.
back. I missed you, man. I'm glad
I
that
missed you, brother.
I was looking forward to this show. I felt
Dude,
bad that I forgot. The whole trip,
no,
I knew I was flying on Sunday, and I totally forgot to even tell you, hey, like the week before, hey, there's like no way I could do the show because I'm going to be on an airplane.
it's okay. You know what? The only thing that I demand is that I'm invited to Matt O'Leary's second wedding.
If they renew their vows, because I believe they'll be together forever, I will
Okay.
make sure that you're invited to that.
All right, man. Hey, this is Jets Chaos at Jets Chaos and Dano at Danger Zone signing off. Episode 6, Chaos in the Zone. Victory Monday. Starting actually it started 10 minutes ago,
on,
guys.
on the East Coast. Woohoo!
Yeah. Enjoy it. Catch you guys later. See you, Chaos.
Take care.
Peace.
I'm convinced we're the most cursed team in professional sports.
You guys are bad.
I've been saying this hot take for a long time, and I'm sticking to it. My hot take is that Will McDonald's going to hit 15 sacks.
No member of the New York Jets Week 1 offensive line will miss a game all year.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time! So get ready to rumble!